In this episode, we're talking lights, blowers, cables, and more stuff. Stick around.
So, hello everybody. Welcome to LensVid Talk number 4. Hello, Art.
Hey, Ido. Hey, all.
And so today we have quite a few topics, as always. Let's start with some things that we actually reviewed here in the past week or so. I want to start with this CineWind from NiteCore.
Yeah.
Actually, we first of all, what this is basically a fan, a photography fan. Let me turn it on. Actually, not a big fan of the way that you turn this on, the way that you turn the fan on. It basically, you have to quickly press and then long press. I know, I would prefer just...
Clicking along.
Yeah, I would prefer an on-off, a typical on-off switch. But other than that, you know, it's very well built. This is plastic, but it's like good plastic.
It's got a metal cheese plate on the top.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And basically, it's powered by 2 NPF batteries. We actually got 2 from NiteCore, but you can use your own if you want to buy this separately. And let me turn this to the max. Maybe we'll...
Over your ears, children.
Yeah, this is really, really loud. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Show the effect, man.
This is 10. Down. That's way too loud. So again, if you want to turn it on, off, then quick press and long press. So we have a full review of this. We actually used this for a portrait shoot that we did with a model recently, a jewelry shot, and it was pretty effective. And they have some plans for like improving this in all sorts of ways. Not necessarily a second generation, although this might come as well. We gave them some pointers based off our experience with this, and some of them are in the review. But generally, it's fantastic. The battery life is great. I mean, it can run. You're not going to use it unless you're shooting outdoors, and even outdoors, like 10 is like nuts.
Yeah.
We use it indoors with like 3, and that was the maximum because the model's eye tend to dry if you shoot.
Constantly blowing 10.
Yeah.
10. What's the speed, do you know?
Yeah, it's like
It's got to be really high.
46
Like hurricane winds coming out of it.
It's 46 kilometers per hour. That's
20
No, that's
2 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour.
you know, something like that. I know, but it's very, very fast. And you know, we did some comparison. There's tiny blowers that we reviewed before. We use them a lot in the studio for all sorts of like what you may call it, like cleaning stuff. They're designed for cleaning sometimes the sensor or the lenses, but we use them to clean like products and stuff that we have.
The product shots, this one and both the little ones, they're great for. It's a great movement in the shot. Like things will fly away real quick with.
This is great. This is also great. I'm thinking that a lot of people are thinking about this for basically for stills, but this is also pretty useful for like B-roll video of a model. If you want to get like slow motion, like movement of the hair and stuff like that, that's actually pretty cool. Again, as long as you don't hear the actual, like it's a B-roll. It can't be like a full-fledged A-roll because it simply won't work. You know, it's very noisy. But
and then also you can use it to like for fog to mist up a room.
Oh yeah. They showed us. They actually had NiteCore had a video showing this, and in the video I can show it on the screen right now. They move like fog. If you have a fog machine, you can move it like in a direction much more like quickly than regular.
Right, because you feed it right through here. Like it's Usually they'll use like those leaf blowers. They're a lot bigger. They're a lot louder. And
this can be loud, but no. But if you put it on like 2 or 3, I'm thinking that the big issue here is not the issue. The big point here is the first of all the power. The output is very, very good, and second, this is a battery powered thing.
Yeah, of course.
And for that, this is cool because you can take it anywhere basically. You can do an outdoor shoot for like hours. I think with like max power, it's like 2.5 hours.
Constant blowing? I was gonna use it.
No, that's nuts. And if you're using it like in 3, you can use it for like a day. So You can actually use it like if you're going camping. You can use it as a
cool off
exactly
hurricane force winds.
Yeah,
Well, NiteCore.
that's pretty cool, and it's about $130, so it's not super expensive for what it is. And
I gotta give it to them. They're coming up with interesting solutions for the field. You know?
yeah, no, I'm thinking that they developed some sort of like a blower technology, and basically they now increased it in size from the small one, which is like pretty effective, to this big one. So that's the point with this. Check out the full review. We have some nice shots from the model shoot that we did, and I think the next one is on you, right?
The next one is also a video we just published. This is Ulanzi. Yeah, the name is LT028.
Yeah, they need to come up with that name.
I don't know what that means. Light, LT, whatever. It's a 40-watt light. Really shot. It's a 40-watt LED. It's COB LED. It's battery powered. I mean, it's got an internal battery, which for me, this is an indicator of where things are going, and that's the biggest takeaway from this light, because other than that, it's pretty simple. No menu, no Bluetooth, no.
So turn on and forget it.
Exactly. It's simple construction, but it's pretty, like the heat dissipation plates. The output's great. The color quality, light quality is really good according to our tests. I did check out the video. I did a sample, like a demo outside in the shade during the day. It worked great. I mean, it's got to be 30 centimeters away. It's only a foot away. But if you're shooting like a close-up in the shade outdoors, it'll do just fine. Which, for me, that's what I want. This one's good for specific things. I want, a 200 light with an internal battery. 200-watt light with an internal battery, and I think that's good.
That's
pretty so much
big.
more versatile.
Yeah, but that will be big because the battery.
Fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. I mean, you're already carrying the lights that we.
Yeah.
They're not just stick in the pocket anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that's where that technology is going, and I'm all for it.
I want to ask you something. In the review, you actually showed that this produced, or I don't know, Ulanzi said, and you got it in our Seconic tester, like 13,000 lux
at 30 centimeters.
At 30 centimeters, yeah.
I actually got our Seconic showed 120,000, like real close up. I mean, you're never gonna be that. For product photography, you can get with this hood, or reflector, you can get some really good power. If for like macro shots, where you can get it real close, lots of power, it's gonna be hard light. It's gonna, of course, there's limitations. But I think for the size, if you're working on a tabletop setup, right, with small products, and you can bring this in on a small table tripod, that's great. You don't have no cables. It's a great deal. I mean, batteries at this time, yeah.
At this time in the game,
everything's gonna be powered.
Yeah, I like the fact that this is like really tiny, because the fact that you can basically put it very close to something. I mean, not in person, but if you're shooting like a product and you're okay with like hard light, and sometimes you are, then putting it.
The dome. This goes with a silicone dome. That drops the power to about 1/10 of what the reflector produces.
Basically, from 1 meter, if you're shooting with a reflector, you're getting about 2,500 lux, and with the dome, it drops down to 500, something like that.
400, something like that.
Yeah, so keep this in mind if you're using it, if you want it soft. So I'm thinking that they need to maybe come up with a dome that will be slightly less.
I'm thinking, this is something I said in the video. I'm thinking they will have some different modifiers. The thing is, this mount, it's a proprietary mount that you can't just stick a different modifier on. There's small modifiers that other companies have come out with in this line of smaller COB LEDs. They're great, but they don't fit on here. So that's one of the things with
all these small lights, yeah.
Right. You kind of have to have your own set for it. But if you have a bunch of these, you can actually have this just launched yesterday, and they're running a sale on their website where you can get 4 of them at like 30% discount.
Maybe we should mention the price. The price is $100, but I think at the discount now it's like 80 at the beginning of this.
78,
it's like nothing, you know.
So if you have 4 of these and you have modifiers for all of them, then I think you're good to go. If you have a hair light and a key light and
I'm thinking that this is probably I'm not sure if a prototype, but a pre-production maybe model.
Maybe
we got it a few weeks ago. Yeah, the connection here is not. It's not like a bow and switch locks. I mean, it does lock, but I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of just snaps on, and you don't know if you've gone too far.
Yeah,
which it may get easier after a while.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's also kind of thing that you just stick on and it just sits there.
No, but if you carry it all the time, I don't know, depending on your bag, it's small.
You can't carry it like this. There's no cover, so you're gonna have to have this on to protect the.
Actually, maybe that's a good idea. We should suggest to them to have like a cover for the LED. Yeah. Okay. So talking about small interesting things. Hollyland has a new interesting product, which is called, I think, the VENUSLIV streaming or LiV, L-I-V. I don't know how they say it exactly, but it's a really interesting product. We have seen like they showed it, I think, in NAB 2023, like a couple of months ago.
Right.
And since then, I think they finished the software basically, but the unit itself is, I would say, about the same size as this, like
feels longer.
Yeah, but more or less like it's basically a camera, which is a cube. It's a live streaming camera, and the thing that I'm not sure about, they have this and they have the Pro model, which is not out yet.
Yeah,
and one of them, they have some differences, but I was thinking that this version doesn't have a battery, but from what I've seen, it does.
They both have batteries. I think the difference is the screen, but then.
Oh, okay.
Like one shouldn't have like the light version or whatever they're gonna call it.
But it seemed to me like both of them have a screen. I don't know.
Well, that's what the NAB video they talked to, like they showed the prototype and they talked about the different models. Maybe that's gonna be a separate model that they'll come out with. But one is without a screen where like you use like it's a second camera or something.
Oh,
where it's just up in the.
The idea basically is that you have like a small camera, which is like a live stream camera. You can connect it to your phone. It doesn't have like internal 3G or 4G, which could have been nice, but I would guess will make the product a little bit more expensive. Not by much, actually. You have like small phones for kids with 4G now.
If you can stick it in an Apple Watch, then
yeah, you can definitely stick it in this, and it shouldn't bring the price too high, but it's small. It should have a screen, at least one of them, and I don't know. It's you can live stream either like from whatever you go if it has an internal battery, and what else can you do with it? I don't know. You can use it as a behind the scenes camera. Like we have here, like 3 cameras. You can add another angle. Or live stream something like this. You can do a lot of things with it. So
interesting concept. It's nice to see. It's nice to see companies that are not camera. The video, like Hollyland, they've got all kinds of like broadcast technologies, and they're great. But it's great to see the cameras is not exactly what they've been doing. It's great to see that there's other manufacturers that are stepping into that market and offering specific use cameras that are, I mean, it's a new product. It's an innovation.
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot. I don't know. I'm trying to remember if there is a live streaming cam of this sort is there.
Well, Sony has that the feature where it's like
of course
you can connect these cameras to directly.
Yeah, but they're not dedicated live streaming cameras. They're cameras with the ability to live stream and basically most.
Well, that's the difference because I guess that it's an LP battery for that one, right?
Yeah,
it's a bigger battery. Right?
Yeah, so it should be able to run for many hours. I think that's part of the thing for this.
And cordless, You have no cables, right? With these cameras, if you want, you can do for minute, you can hook it up to a battery.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have some cables, right? So
yeah, and these cameras we're shooting with a A7R5, A1, and A7 IV. These cameras, after a while, especially at 1080p, maybe they can like push, but if you're shooting 4K, they will probably overheat after some time. So that's an interesting product. Maybe we'll have a chance to see it. We are going to IBC. We'll talk about this in a future LensVid Talk, but we're probably going to see it there and bring you some coverage about how it works and what it does. And so this is the Hollyland product. We have something before we actually start with some news. We sometimes get all sorts of like small products. So this is something that we actually got for this setup that we're shooting right now. This is a Dtap to USB-C with some interesting, I would say, protectors. This is 60-watt USB-C PD. Cable with I'm thinking
like a surge protector. What?
I'm thinking this is now the only thing we are using one of them with a Dtap to a camera right now, but the only thing that I don't particularly like about it, I like the color, the build quality seems nice. It's kind of short, so the battery needs to be pretty close to the camera. That's not great, but other than that, seems to work.
Do you think it's limited? The length is limited by this whatever the transistor? What is it? What are we looking at here?
Strange. It makes some noise when you tap on it, but I know. No, I don't think so. It can probably be longer. If I had a chance, I'll talk to Kondor Blue and ask them if they can make a longer version. But that's a pretty cool thing. We were looking at all sorts of like power solutions for cameras for these LensVid Talk videos because they can sometimes be quite long, and we record two of them in succession. So this is LensVid Talk 4, and after that we're going to record LensVid Talk 5. So this can take over an hour. And we're looking at dummy batteries, and honestly, there are a lot of people saying, if you read like comments on either Amazon or B&H or other places where they're selling like dummy batteries for Sony cameras, that you really need to be careful, because if you're going to use like a dummy battery, if it doesn't have a good surge protector, then you're basically using a $3,000, $6,000 camera like the A1, based on the small, very inexpensive, like a few cent surge protector.
Yeah, because it's basically connecting the camera straight to the
whatever
to the grid, right? So whatever.
No, not the grid or whatever, a different voltage or whatever.
Right.
We had a problem with this. Luckily, that was only our A6300 or something like that, an old camera. But still, I mean, you don't want to lose your camera because of a cable or something like that. So we decided to go for this. Hopefully, it is less risky, I know. But this is basically what this is, and we'll see how it works in future videos. So let's start with the actual talk. We have a couple of subjects. I think there is a new remove tool in Photoshop. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
And I think in the regular Photoshop, not in the beta. Or
I've been using the beta version consistently because I really like the new tools that they offer. So I don't know. So I don't know. I haven't checked the.
Right, it's on the screen. I don't remember either. So
check, yeah, but it's great. It's great for just.
It basically
it removes anything, right? So
or whatever.
Instead of just cloning and stamping and stuff, you can just tell it what to remove, and it removes, and it's predictive. It's AI predictive, right?
Yeah.
So that's great, but it's also great because you can use it for for fine retouching like skin and stuff.
How so? Would you use it for?
I would usually, there's different methods of doing it. There's frequency separation, there's all this kind of stuff, but the actual tools that you use back in the day for old school Photoshop cleaning, you would use like a stamp or a brush.
There's no stamp. Yeah. Okay.
or the healing brush, basically.
So you can mark like.
So you basically, like the healing brush, the one that I like to use, you tell it where to sample from, and then you clean, right? And it's a pretty tedious process, right? To clean the face, all the blemishes and everything, and it's click and stab and click and stab and click and healing, right? But this one is just like, okay, you make a real small brush and just go over it, and it just predicts, and I think it.
I need to try it. Okay, obviously there are, for those who constantly work with all sorts of AI. We talked last time about a different plugin that cleans faces and all sorts of stuff. So there are obviously a million ways of doing this. Some of them faster, but this is basically just another way. And you can remove some stuff and like get a footage. If you remove this you don't want this, you can like Photoshop it out of the frame.
Yeah, getting mics out, you have this light very close to you. You can always Photoshop that out.
Actually, for videos, we talked about this like last time. We have mics pretty close to us, and basically, as long as we don't get like in the frame, you can cut them out in Photoshop and then just leave that part without them, and to work. So that's nice. So that's the remove tool in Photoshop. The next one is like, it's basically not an announcement, it's just a patent, but I think Petapixel reported this. So Canon patented, nobody knows obviously if it will actually be in a camera, but they patented a viewfinder which is rotatable.
It's a tilting viewfinder. Yeah, so basically if you're shooting, you shoot like this, or you shoot at the hip. You turn the viewfinder up. So it's kind of like a rangefinder style. The old.
Exactly. I really like those cameras, but then you had like a big screen, which was like really, really cool.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's just, I'm thinking like a viewfinder.
Yeah, it's a regular hybrid, I guess, style body where you shoot like this and then you just flip it and then look down.
Yeah.
I think it's, again, innovation. I'm all for that.
We need to see how it works exactly, because you need to see if you can rotate it to any degree and lock it somehow in any degree, because maybe it has like a rosette somewhere inside. I don't know how they will actually make it, because if it just
like flip it around,
just 90 degrees, it's not necessarily going to be convenient. But sometimes you want like the intermediate angle. Yeah, or even between. So I don't know. It's a cool idea. We'll have to see how it works.
But then that opens up the field for other accessories that you can like snap on there. So if you want to have a bigger screen, you can like the shoulder rigs where it's the
There are some companies making the eyepieces. Yeah, for sure.
For some reason that whole
niche is
not evolved in many years, which I think we need to look at that. Somebody.
Yeah. No, I've been thinking for a long time about something that doesn't exist currently on the market. And I don't know, maybe you can suggest if this is something that talks to you, if this is something that you will use. I was thinking there, if you remember the Google Glass thing. So I've been one of the first people outside of Google to actually use a Google Glass, like way back in, I think it was Photokina 2012, 14, something like that. 12, I think.
10 years.
Yeah, more for 10 years. And there was this guy that was working in Google, and he came into the show, and I recognized him for some reason. I started talking to him. And he had the Google Glass at that time, so he gave me a chance to try them like for a couple of minutes. It was kind of cool. And I'm bringing this up because there is something that I've been wanting for a camera, actually for a studio shoot. And the idea is basically like, think about it as glasses.
A monitor that's...
Yeah, but it could be just one glass. The other one can be like empty or something. With like augmented reality, so you do see like the basically I can see you like in reality without the screen, but on the screen I can have superimposed like the image that comes from the camera.
Exactly,
and it could
be
like
in-ear monitor for audio, but on
for visual. Yeah, exactly. And the most important thing in my view here is to be able to really punch in for focus. So you can think about it. If you're doing like a model shoot, when I'm shooting like a model, the camera is stationary on a tripod, but instead of like having to look through the viewfinder all the time, I'm holding a remote and having this in my eye connected via, I don't know, HDMI or wirelessly somehow, and talking to the model like I'm talking to the camera right now. And basically, I can see, and if I tap, I can also make sure that the focus is like 100% correct and can shoot with a remote. I don't need to physically have the camera in front of my face.
That's the thing. It's also great for a monitor is always better than like the on camera for these hybrid.
No, not necessarily. The viewfinder or the news.
No, the viewfinder is great.
Is amazing.
Viewfinder is amazing, but for my FX30, you got no viewfinder.
Yeah, that's for sure.
One. So if I'm working outside, all with a viewfinder, that's what I'll rely on because I can't see anything on the screen. But there's angles where you can see.
If you put like we shoot a lot top angle,
right,
or if you have a camera way up, then
there's plenty of shots where I can't see the screen or the viewfinder,
or I can be physically behind the camera.
So, or just shooting handheld and you're walking around and you have an on-eye kind of technology where you're looking.
See situations where you actually need to have like the ability to see what the camera sees without like holding a tablet or phone or a monitor, even like, you actually want to interact with the environment and see what you're...
So maybe the new Apple goggles will do that.
As far as what I've been hearing, the developers are not too keen about those, and they're really expensive, but that's a different story. But no, these are like huge. I'm talking about something
really small. Yeah, exactly. Like, you're carrying all kinds of stuff anyway, right?
No, it needs to be like the Hollyland.
So maybe like the Hollyland wireless audio, but with a video piece on it.
That could be.
Oh man, I would love that.
I don't know. We'll talk to Hollyland.
With this new camera technology that Hollyland is doing,
actually, yeah, maybe. So that was obviously just a side note for this whole thing. So basically, Canon has this tilting viewfinder, and if it will ever come to an actual camera, we will obviously have it here for you to view or at least report about it. So that's the Canon. What else do we have?
Ulanzi fan.
Ulanzi fan. Oh, yeah, that's... so we were talking about the NiteCore fan, but the Ulanzi fan is something completely different. I think Tilta had something similar, right?
I don't remember one.
Tilta, I think that Tilta at the time produced like a fan for the R5. When the R5 had all the overheating issues. Then they sort of like fixed most of it. I don't know. If you have an R5, tell us if this is completely fixed or just semi-fixed. I don't know.
The firmware was supposed to fix that.
Yeah, to a degree at least. So that's the Tilta one. The Ulanzi one I think is less expensive, and
that's pretty simple.
Yeah, I've been talking to them, trying to understand which cameras exactly does this support, because our A1 tend to overheat quite a bit. So that's I don't know. It's an issue that I'm not sure if it's an issue with our specific A1, or I don't know, if you have an A1 and you're shooting a lot of 4K, tell us if it overheats or not. I'm not talking even like 120 or 100 or 60.
Yeah, the specific scenarios where
I'm thinking really mostly if you're using HDMI, and maybe even HDMI with like a tablet connected somehow.
But Bluetooth and HDMI goes.
Yeah, it tends to overheat very quickly. Yeah. I don't know, maybe if you're using this setup, let's know if your A1 overheats. But regardless, so this Ulanzi fan is supposed to fit, I think, more cameras. I'm not sure exactly which. I think the big question is how effective it is and how noisy it is. These are the two things that I would look at. And maybe they send us some lights. Maybe they will have a version of this sent to us. I think that there is only one version. I'm not sure. So it's not camera specific.
And most of these camera bodies are pretty similar in size.
It depends, I think, on the cutout for the monitor.
Right.
The cutout for the monitor fits, but I'm not sure how it actually connects to the camera so it won't fall.
It's probably some kind of a bracket that goes underneath the camera. Into
that will make sense, but
right.
it does. It's not what I remember. I'll put it on the screen. We'll see. But basically, that's the product. It's fairly inexpensive, so maybe we'll give it a go and let you know how it works with our A1. So another thing that is new is a Feiyu-Tech Pocket 3. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's like the tiniest gimbal camera I've ever seen. It's like you can barely it fits in the palm of your hand, I think.
The palm of a baby's hand. That is tiny. It's a little. It's I don't know. It's the size of a
whatever. Like smaller than
like 2 matchboxes.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It's super tiny. Well, we talked about the what's his name, the other tiny camera that we covered last time.
Yeah,
the Cat
360.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a 360, not a 360 camera, but
yeah, it's not a 360, but it's like a tiny camera. This one doesn't have a screen and everything, but it does have a gimbal.
Well, it comes with a handle that has its own battery and a screen, so you can connect it.
The handle has a screen.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can connect it because obviously you don't know what the camera is seeing, so you can connect
but
it.
It's much more than the 360 camera, right? The screen.
The screen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
like
the size. It's
1x1 type.
Right. Exactly. It's basically it's the third iteration of this product, right? There's 2 others. And if you remember years ago, DJI I think it was DJI that came out with the first one. Little handheld. There's a small
bigger,
handle.
I think, slightly bigger.
Right. It was a small handle and a little gimbal on top, and it's like a all-in-one type thing. It was great. I actually used it for a little bit for a specific, just walking around.
Yeah.
And things. My daughter played with it. This one is a similar concept, except you can take off the actual gimbal head and stick it. It's got a magnetic mount.
Oh, so you can put it anywhere. Oh, okay.
on your bike, whatever. And
actually, that can have a lot of uses, especially if it has like it's a proper gimbal.
It's a proper gimbal. I mean, the motor is really small, so and the head is really light.
The camera itself is small, so it doesn't have to be very strong.
So I don't know. I mean,
I didn't see an actual footage out. I mean, maybe there are some reviews.
It'd be interesting to compare like the small Insta360 thing to this and see what kind of shots you can get with it.
Yeah,
because one relies on like internal computations too,
or digital.
Right, and the other one's actual.
Yeah. Obviously, the combination will be the best, I'm guessing. But
right. So,
but yeah,
but it's a nice concept.
Do you know how much it costs?
I didn't see the price.
Yeah, okay. So if there is a price, I'll put it on the screen. So Godox has some interesting new products called the Godox Airsoft Tube.
Yeah, I like that.
So it's not, they have new tube lights. Hopefully we will get some because...
Well, it works with a new tube light.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's not a standard, it's a modifier.
Yeah, it's not like a lighting product per se.
You saw something like that last year at IBC that was really...
That were really expensive.
Yeah.
Like... That were like over $1,000, maybe more.
But they were interesting. They had some different. Basically, you explain what it is, right? It's an inflatable tube of 20 centimeters in diameter, 7 inches, whatever, 8 inches in diameter, and they have different length of it, right? So. Like a full body type.
You're talking about the ones that we saw last year in IBC.
Well, that's similar here.
Yeah, because, no, but these ones I don't think they're not very big.
They have 8 foot.
Oh, really? Okay.
Which I don't know. They said something about whenever they said
they were shipping it. Yeah, obviously.
I don't know how they would ship that kind of thing, but it's
but if it's like if it falls because it's
I'm talking about the tube itself.
The tube itself, yeah, they have long tubes. That's not a problem. No, do they have this for the longer?
Yes, they have the 3 foot, the 4 foot, and the 8 foot.
Oh,
3. I'm not sure if it's 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have the tube light. You stick the tube light in. It's an inflatable tube, and it's like a lantern but long.
Yeah.
So
what
very portable.
yeah.
Roll it up. Very.
So what does it give you versus like it's a softer light and more like
It's a soft modifier.
more environmental sort
Pretty
of?
much.
Yeah.
It's like, think of a rectangular softbox,
Yeah.
right? But it also spills to the side.
Spills to the side.
So it's a lantern. Like, I think all these.
Obviously, it's not. No, but a lantern, this is 360 degrees lighting from the top. This is like, it's still more forward facing, but with spill to the side.
So it's kind of a wraparound light. It's soft. It's
It'll be interesting to use it and see what applications we can find for it, like in product photography and stuff like that. I know.
Tube lights, I really like tube lights for their coverage. For the form factor, it's not. I mean, it's long, but it's not big. You can always stick it into like the corner of
the side of something.
Right. So it can be out of the frame, but it covers a lot of space. So it's basically like a paddle would cover the height of something, but it's very small. So I really like that, and it played like this modifier plays on that form factor. So I think it's a great thing, and it's portable. You just it's inflatable, right? So you just roll it up and stick it in the pocket.
Interesting. So yeah, we'll if we get one, probably need to get it with the new tube lights. Then
the tube lights themselves is great because they're like the new generation. They're electronic. You can pixel map on them. You can have an array of them. It's really interesting.
We're actually using the old version. We did a review a couple of years ago. They're great. The only thing that I don't like about them is the battery life. They tend to die out pretty quickly. The battery runs out and you need to charge it.
We have them sitting around over here, and the batteries
they discharge on their own, which is a problem. But other than that, the lights themselves, they're pretty cheap and they're fantastic. They work very well. They're easy to operate. This is one of the issues with a lot of inexpensive tube lights, even the expensive ones. Sometimes it's like you have to meld with all the functionality, the menus and everything. With these, you have you have the app, but you have the dial, which is like really simple. Right. The operation is cool, and sometimes it boils down if you have like a bunch of tube lights, and we have a lot because we reviewed a lot of them. Then it boils down to which you pick based on just how easy and fast it is to start operating. So I'm taking the Godox many times just because of how easy they are. Yeah. But I need the battery life to be better. So maybe the new ones we will see. So that's the Godox Airsoft Tube modifiers. There is a new system from FreeWell, which is called Eiger Matte Box or something.
Eiger,
yeah.
Eager to know how to read this word.
Yeah, exactly. But did you see this?
That's really great. It's a matte box. FreeWell has been doing filters and making filters. We haven't tested them, but I see them a lot lately, like popping up everywhere. So should be pretty good. They have magnetic style system, and this one is a matte box, and they have like just a matte box. They have a VND.
What I like about these systems, and not just from FreeWell, but from other companies, you have a very easy ability to change the VND without. You don't need to physically turn the whole thing. You have a small knob or cogwheel or something that you turn on the upper part usually of the matte box.
It sticks out over the top of the matte box. You're just gonna roll it back and forth. A lot easier because a lot of times if you're trying to ride the filter while you're shooting,
your hand covers part of it.
You're moving the camera around, you got your fingers in the shot.
Yeah, that's all ideal. I'm still waiting for Sony to actually put VND inside, like digital VND inside the smaller cameras. Obviously, they have it on the cinema higher end versions.
VNDs, I think they're changed.
NDs, no, they're NDs. They're you have different
2, 4, 6, whatever, and it's switch to 11.
I think they have I didn't shoot with one of those cameras, but I think you have the ability. It's not like a hard change. It's more. I think it's more gradual. Not 100% sure
how that would work mechanically.
I don't think that it works mechanically. I think
it's an actual digital?
No, I'm thinking that it somehow interacts with the exposure, and I don't know, but If you're using one, let us know in the comments, but whatever. So this is the FreeWell Eiger or whatever matte box system. Maybe we'll have a chance to test it. We'll talk to FreeWell after this video. We will see. And the last one that we have is ZY Optics
Mitakon
Speedmaster. Yeah, they now have a new set. I'm not sure if these lenses were actually available before as not just as a set, but now they're available as a set. They're pretty similar to the ones that we talked about, like the Night Walker from last week. We talked about the Siru Night Walker. So these are also pretty small. They're Super 35, just like the Night Walker. I think these are actually even faster. So the other ones were T1.2. These are T1.0. So like super fast. Not sure how sharp they are.
The footage looks great, but I think that's a personal preference. I like that, guys.
Yeah. So the question is, I don't know. I've been trying to talk to them ever since we mentioned their 200 millimeter macro lens that we covered in one of the previous LensVid talks. So far, I haven't been able to get to them, but they have some interesting products and they're fairly affordable. So that's
great. Again,
what the footage out of the
the actual lenses, metal construction, they're all like the sizing.
Chinese lenses for the most part don't use plastics in their lenses. They're more like old school.
I think they do a great job.
I'm okay with it. You know, some people don't like this for the weight, but I don't mind.
On a rig that's
for Cine,
I don't think you're
go with metal all the time. Yeah, for sure. So I think that's everything that we have for you for today. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to LensVid on YouTube if you want to watch more of this LensVid talk. And of course, our reviews. We have a lot of reviews coming up.
Check out the website as well.
A lot more stuff. And we'll see you in the next LensVid talk and LensVid in general.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well.